Hey everybody, I thought I'd share another recipe with you. It's become really popular with my family because it's really healthy and it's really convenient. It's really simple to make too. It only uses a few ingredients. It's Irish oatmeal. So let's take a look at what's in it and how to make it. So the first ingredient is the Irish steel cut oats. There's several brands out there, but I like the ones in the metal cans, not the instant oats or the 5-minute oats. They just have a better texture. And the second ingredient, or actually the rest of the ingredients, is just really whatever you have on hand. These ingredients I happened to have in the house the first time I made it, and I liked them so much I just kept using them. Dried fruit like these craisins, you can also use raisins if you want. Then also chopped pecans or some kind of nuts if you like pecans or nuts of some kind. These are from Georgia, but they're just really chopped pecans. They add a nice little nutty texture. And also coconut. I really loved coconut when I made this the first time. This is sweetened, but you don't have to use the sweetened kind. And then last, to add a sort of a sweet touch at the end, is sorghum molasses. And you can use the grandma's molasses that you find in the grocery if you want, but I love to find the homemade cans that are made on the farms around here. Really gives a nice complex sweetness, makes it taste like an oatmeal cookie. One of the great things about cooking oats this way is that you can keep them in the fridge. They'll last a long time. So you can cook a bunch at once and then have great breakfasts all week long, and it only takes about 1.5 minutes to heat up. So the first thing to do is to follow the instructions on the oats and make a batch that usually serves 4. And that's going to be 3 cups of water, about 3.5 cups of water for every 1 cup of oats. Okay, once we got our water boiling, I always add a little bit of salt at this stage. Don't know if it makes much of a difference, but we got a nice boil going. You want to take your cup of oats, nice granular oats, and you want to just sprinkle them. You don't want to dump them in or else they might cling to the bottom, and you don't want that. So just kind of sprinkle them in gradually. That's going to stop the boil or reduce it for a little bit. And once those guys are all in there, just make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom and give them a nice turn. It's going to come back up to a boil, and we're going to let it do that for just a little bit, and then we're going to reduce the heat. And we're going to reduce the heat once it starts to boil with the oats in there. Reduce it to about a medium heat. You don't really have to babysit these a lot, but you do want to make sure that they're stirred every now and then. So the mixture is going to start to thicken, and as it starts to thicken, you want to reduce the heat a little bit each time, because you don't want to get it too hot. You don't want those oats sticking to the bottom. But that's basically it. It's really simple to follow the directions and just get the oats to a nice thick mixture. Okay, so as our oats are thickening and boiling, we're going to prepare our other ingredients. As I was saying before, the great thing about this recipe is you can prepare a large batch and eat all week on it, really, depending on how much you make. So let's throw our dry ingredients into a resealable little tub here. It's important that it be resealable because you don't want that kind of freezer burn, refrigerator burn thing to discolor your oatmeal. So we're just going to put whatever you got on hand. I've got some pecans, chopped pecans there. Give it a nice nutty texture. Got my coconut. Sprinkle some of that in there. I like coconut, so I'm going to put a little bit more. And dried cranberries. Or raisins if you don't like cranberries, but trust me, cranberries are the bomb. Dried cranberries are great. But you can put whatever you want in there. So anyway, you got a little mixture here. It's just going to add some flavor to your oats. Okay, after about 15 minutes, you see that nice thickened oatmeal. And we are ready to take it off the heat. Now don't be intimidated by the steel cut oats and think that they're somehow hard to cook or harder than the instant oats to cook. Because if you can boil water, basically you can make this oatmeal. So we're going to turn the heat off. Now it's time to let it cool just a little bit. Okay, after that mixture's cooled just a little bit, we're going to take it over to our tub of ingredients. And we're just going to spoon it in there. Just like that. Get all of that out. You don't want oatmeal drying up in the pan because it's hard to clean when it dries, so we want to take all of it that we can, and then we want to clean that pot while it's still a little bit warm and wet. I just take those ingredients, mix them around with that nice fresh oat mixture. Get them nice and mixed around there. And once we do that, it is ready to pop in the fridge. I'm going to smooth it out so it's easy to cut tomorrow morning. Kind of smooth out there. Alright, so here we are the next morning. We have our oatmeal that's been refrigerating all night. Busy day, you don't have time for a good breakfast? Well, think again. You just cut your oatmeal into 4 servings. Take one out, put it in your bowl. And put whatever you want. I like a little butter or margarine. Get that in there, and then the magic touch, sorghum molasses. Like, once again, Grandma's molasses will do, but if you have access to homemade sorghum, I recommend that. A little bit of sweetness on there. And we're going to pop it in the microwave for about 1 minute, 30 seconds. Stir it a little bit halfway through. And then watch it come to life. Stir that molasses and butter together. It's a whole new deal. It's that nice oatmeal cookie look. Stir all that stuff up. And there you go. But that's it. That's all there is to it. It's healthy, really good for you. It is really convenient because you keep it in the fridge. And most of all, it is delicious. The best oats you'll ever have.